Top 10 Best Historical Web Series 2024. Yo, history buffs. If you're like me and can't get enough of historical dramas, then you're in for a treat. I've rounded up the top 10 best historical web series that you've got to watch. From epic battles to royal intrigue, these shows have it all. So grab your popcorn and get ready to dive into the past with these binge-worthy series. 1. The Last Kingdom. Oh man, The Last Kingdom is where it's at if you're craving some serious Saxon versus Viking action. This show throws us into the chaotic world of England before it was, well, England. We're talking about the time when Vikings were making a hobby of raiding and taking over Saxon territories. Enter our hero, Uhtred of Bebbanburg, a Saxon noble kid kidnapped and raised by Vikings. Talk about identity crisis, right? This dude's journey is wild. He's torn between his birthright and the Viking culture he's grown up in. The battles? Epic. The loyalty shifts? You won't see him coming. And Uhtred's quest to reclaim his home. It's the kind of saga that has you rooting for him through every sword clash and sneaky plot twist. The Last Kingdom nails the historical drama with a heavy dose of action and a side of emotional roller coasters. If you're into exploring the nitty-gritty of how England came to be, with all the messy, bloody details in tow, then you're gonna want to binge this. It's like a history lesson with sword fights and killer plot lines. 2. Peaky Blinders. Yo, you absolutely can't scroll past Peaky Blinders without giving it a serious binge. This series is a gritty, gripping dive into the underworld of post-World War I Birmingham, England, and let me tell you, it's as intense as it sounds. We're thrown into the lives of the Shelby family, led by the sharp and ruthless Tommy Shelby. This guy is a mastermind, and watching him climb the ranks of the criminal underworld is nothing short of thrilling. The style? Impeccable. The soundtrack? Bangin'. And the drama? It's like it never stops. Peaky Blinders isn't just about the gangster life. It's a deep dive into the social and political tensions of the era. It's got everything: suspense, intense character arcs, and a look at the aftermath of war on society. And those flat caps? Iconic. If you're into shows that mix real historical settings with edge-of-your-seat storytelling, Peaky Blinders is a must-watch. 3. The Crown. All right, get ready to swap those battlefields for some serious royal drama with The Crown. This web series is a deep dive into the life of Queen Elizabeth II from her wedding in 1947, all the way through to the modern times. It's like having a front row seat to some of the most pivotal moments in British history, but with way more style and behind-the-scenes gossip. Watching The Crown is like scrolling through the most glamorous history book ever, but with better lighting and Oscar-worthy performances. You'll see all the ups and downs of being a royal, the love stories, the heartbreaks, and oh, the scandals. It's a roller coaster ride through decades of change, both inside the palace and out in the world. What's cool about The Crown is how it doesn't just stick to the glitz and glam. It gets real about the challenges of leadership and the personal sacrifices that come with it. You'll get a new appreciation for the weight of the crown, trust me. And don't even get me started on the production and costume design. They're so on point, you'll feel like you've time traveled. So if you're up for a classy, intimate look at history, royalty, and everything in between, The Crown is where it's at. 4. Vikings. All right, if you're all about that Viking life, then Vikings is the show you've got to tune up next. This series takes you on a wild ride into the saga of Ragnar Lothbrok, a legendary Viking warrior who's also a farmer dreaming of exploring and raiding the distant shores across the ocean. It's all about ambition, power, and exploring uncharted territories. The action scenes? Absolutely savage. The power struggles? They'll have you gripping your seat. And the exploration of Viking culture and mythology? Fascinating, to say the least. Vikings isn't just about the battles, though don't get it twisted. Those are insane. It dives deep into the characters' lives, their relationships, and their quest for power. What makes Vikings stand out is how it blends historical facts with a touch of drama and mysticism, making you feel like you're part of their world. 5. Marco Polo. Yo, so let's talk Marco Polo. This series is like taking a wild history trip, across the 13th century Mongol Empire. And it's as epic as it sounds. Picture this. You're on the Silk Road, right? Only it's not just about trading silk and spices. It's full of intrigue, power plays, and some seriously jaw-dropping scenery that'll make you want to pack your bags and time travel. Marco Polo himself is kinda thrown into the deep end in the court of the mighty Kublai Khan. It's all about survival for him, learning the ways of a land so different from his Venetian roots. The culture clash? Fascinating. And the political drama? It's like nothing you've seen before. We're talking betrayals, secret alliances, and mind games that'll have you guessing who's gonna come out on top. 6. Spartacus. 8. Let's dive into Spartacus, 'cause this series is nothing short of legendary. This show takes the whole gladiator game and cranks it up to 100, giving us a front row seat to the life and rebellion of Spartacus, the dude who went from being a captive gladiator to a fearsome leader of a slave uprising against the Roman Republic. Talk about an underdog story. The action in Spartacus, brutal and unapologetic. You can practically feel the sand of the arena under your feet and the clash of swords ringing in your ears. But it's not just about the fights. The show gets you deep into the personal stories, the dreams and desires of those fighting for their freedom. 7. The Tudors. Yo, if royal drama's your thing, then The Tudors is about to be your new obsession. This series is all about the reign and scandals of King Henry VIII of England, and oh boy, does it deliver on the juicy details. Imagine having the power to change the course of history just because you want to marry someone new. Wild, right? The Tudors doesn't just stick to the love life chaos though. It dives deep into the political maneuverings, the betrayals, and the sheer ruthlessness of ruling during one of the most tumultuous times in English history. The costumes? Stunning. The intrigue? It's like a soap opera, but with fancier clothes and real historical consequences. This show is a roller coaster ride of emotions, with moments that'll have you cheering and others that'll have you gasping in shock. 8. Rome. All right, buckle up cause we're diving headfirst into the ancient city vibes with Rome. This series is like the ultimate throwback to the last days of the Roman Republic, and trust me, it's a wild ride. Think power struggles, backstabbing politics, and some of the most intense love stories you've ever seen, all set against the backdrop of ancient Rome's glory and grit. Rome is all about showing us the nitty-gritty of what life was like way back when. From the battlefields to the Senate, it doesn't shy away from the brutal truth of the times. You've got Julius Caesar, Brutus, Cleopatra, all the big names doing their thing, making moves that'll change the course of history. And the attention to detail, insane. It feels like you're walking the streets of Rome, minus the smell and the danger, of course. 9. Frontier. Let me tell ye about Frontier. This shows a straight-up wild ride into the chaotic and cutthroat fur trade of 18th century North America. We're diving deep into the rugged, icy landscapes where it's all about survival of the fittest, with Declan Harp, a part Irish, part Native American outlaw, leading the charge. This dude is on a mission to break the monopoly that the Hudson's Bay Company has on the fur trade, and let me tell you, it ain't no easy feat. Frontier is packed with action, betrayals, and a gritty look at the clash between various groups vying for control. We're talking Europeans, native tribes, and everyone in between. The alliances and conflicts that unfold are intense, giving us a peek into the rough and tumble world of the fur trade that's rarely seen on screen. 10. Outlander. All right, so let's dive into Outlander, cause this show's got it all. Time travel, romance, and some serious historical action. Picture this. Claire Randall, a nurse from the 1940s, gets whisked back in time to 18th century Scotland, right smack in the middle of rebel clans and redcoat soldiers. It's like a history buff's dream with a juicy love story rolled into one. The chemistry between Claire and Jamie Fraser? Off the charts. And the historical details? Spot on. You're gonna be Googling Scottish history after each episode, trust me. Plus, the scenery's so gorgeous, it's practically another character. If you're up for a show that blends the thrill of time travel with deeply researched history and heart-melting romance, Outlander is where it's at. This brings us to the end of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.